Well, I found the camera on. I wrote a letter to the French. I wrote an email to the French. Let me see if I can find it. It's to Emmanuel Macron, and it's in response to his invitation to engineers, which I noticed. I said the great leader knows to ask his engineers to solve his pressing problems. It's first going to Francois Delatte. Please forward the paper Improve the UN or Build Another that was written by your own great diplomat, Andre Lewin, to Emmanuel Macron. I'm reminding you of your own greatness. We are trapped in a society that has become mean and stupid from ignorance and misshapen goals. The offer of a place to work is great. You have my gratitude. The U.S., as controlled by the GOP and Trump, does not even care about its guiding myth, the goals of enlightened free men. We do not even have the possibility to call for a vote of no confidence. What the French honored with the Statue of Liberty is being mauled to death so that separate class of rich political figures can make off with the shared assets of the nation, imitating the Russian methods that created for it a class of oligarchs. It is finance banking and what is the barbarism of financial terrorists that is the system they are using to do these things. We must strengthen and make more effective the institution that is the UN, even if another nation is to be spawned along with another UN. I am referencing my own model nation, the nation of airports Transcendia, as I speak here of making a UN along the lines as laid out by Chairman of the French UN Association, Andre Lewin. I believe that he has been forgotten. It falls to me to keep his fire burning because he so honored me with his correspondence and intellectual support. I recognize that the Points for Reinvention of the UN, as published March 15th, 2003 in the New York Times by Ambassador Andre Lewin, were the best and sought him out. He added my concepts for UN TV to his points. What I attach is his complete paper. Since that time earlier in the new century, I have dug deep into economics and finance. France itself is in the sights of the finance bankers who are strip mining the assets of Greece. I can point you towards the economists who have, for all of us, created the right counter to the forces of the financial terrorist. Of course, there is your own Piketty, but in the States it is Michael Hudson, author of Killing the Host, and J is for junk. You must read. Now I have found Ellen Brown in the Bank of North Dakota. While it is the sign of a great leader to call for engineers, my work now, political as a nation modeler, political, I didn't write politically, is about systems engineering. I put systems engineering in all caps. Safely I can call government a system to be engineered. Maybe I'm not officially an engineer, but I was a film gaffer in key grip. The grip work being essentially on demand engineering using the fine and unique tools used in making movies. One could make a strong case for hiring Hollywood film technicians and production designers to design whatever reality you really desire. Andre says that it is the organizations of the UN as it is that are its great strength. I have come to sense that if we are to have an armed UN, meaning a UN with its own armed forces, we will in fact need 2 UNs, so that a check on what becomes the government of governments is installed. You got that? I'm not the greatest, I'm not as experienced as Andre was, and he's been dead since 2012. Andre told me that Chirac liked my concepts for UN TV, but he, of course, like so many others, just drifted into what was known, which I wasn't really pushing. I was pushing something more vital than even C-SPAN. You can see my schedule. I sent the schedule here. I got it attached. 24/7 schedule I wrote for Time Warner. And Lynn Constantini, last I heard, she was working for Glenn Beck. Give you an idea maybe why some of that didn't quite turn out. She dumped me in CNN's lap, or C-SPAN's lap, and they didn't want to have anything to do with me. It was sort of insulting, really. I was a video committee chairman, at my college, albeit a community college. P.S. I am sorry that I must admit that I simply do not have the means to travel to New York City to meet with you. I see Trump's wall for what is the common experience of the American working class. We are trapped, and the wall is more to keep us in than keep Mexicans out. It would help me a lot if you were to encourage Air France and Dassault, however they say it, to honor Transcendia passports. Well, I keep sending these things off. Here's a postcard I wrote to Uruguay. Dear Ambilio, Uruguay is now what old hippies such as I intended for our nation. I see hope for us if your grand success after painful times is everywhere known and admired. You understand that sentence, don't you? I see hope for us if your grand success after painful times is known everywhere and admired. See? Pretty much Uruguay is whatever I'd wanted to live in back when I was younger and looking forward to a life in the United States and Canada. Around. We didn't get it. All us hippies were beat, Generation gap seems to still go on, only it's ossified into some image on TV. Fox. There's all the people that were the wrong ones, laughed at in a Lear TV show. Might as well have been, what's his name? Well, Carroll was the guy that played that guy. Civil War never stopped. Everybody's damaged, tore up. All those monuments KKK put up every time they murdered somebody inspire people to keep murdering. And God forbid anybody says black and white labor. I see Mars got himself in trouble using the word house nigger on himself. Nigga, he goes. Well, he has put his money where his mouth is, and he has support. I'm afraid to support people like him, because every time I do, it turns around and they diss me. I know I never have been hired since to write for TV since I wrote for the Inspector Gadget show. I felt like I was blackballed for my anti-Star Wars story that was in the Gannett paper. If you don't get run out of town every now and then from what you write, you're probably not very good, because I got run out of town for a pro-union Labor Day article I wrote for the movie magazine in Wilmington one year. I had to go to New York and then work on a guiding light, and that that was sort of one of the more horrible experiences. I started having horrible experiences with film crews later in my career. I didn't have as much leverage. I wasn't driving the film truck. Anyway, I just found I'd taken a picture of some pretty girl in some weeds, and I was going to upload it and the camera was on, so I shot this. Love you.